There it is. There's my puppity pups. What is up, internet world, and welcome back to the channel. Today we're bringing you the 2023 BMW M850i. What is up, internet world? For the second time, we would really appreciate if you guys subscribe. We need all the help we can get. YouTube is not pumping us up like they normally do, and we're in big trouble. If you want to see us, you got to subscribe. So BMW is a company full of history, and this is no different. The 8 Series was launched back in 1990, and that's when I lived in Dubai. And the only people that could afford this long hood V12 pop-up headlight masterpiece were people with deep pockets. Now back then, Dubai didn't have all these crazy skyscrapers it does today, because now the 8 Series will just sort of blend in. But back in the day, that car was a masterpiece, a piece of art, something so unique that everybody was like, wow. And that was the first generation. It lasted for 9 years and then disappeared for about 20. And then showed up in 2019 when they ditched the 6 Series. So no more 6 Series, just 8 Series. Now this is the refreshed version. And here in Canada, you cannot get the 840i, which is their base car. You can only get this, the 850i, in 3 different trims. But what if you want the M? What can you choose? You can choose the M8 in, again, the Coupe, the Convertible, and the Grand Sport. In the 2023 BMW M850i with a monstrous V8 that we've always loved, the 4.4 liter twin turbo that makes 523 horsepower and 553 pound-feet of torque. Now this thing weighs 4,700 pounds, but with this motor and all-wheel drive, it propels it to 60 in 3.7 seconds. If you bought the M8, you can propel yourself with 617 horsepower to 60 in 3 seconds. 3.7 seconds is monstrous. When I look at this thing and I sit inside, there's no way my brain is telling me this thing does 60 in 3.7 seconds. So, Sport Plus, traction control off, move it over into manual, foot to the ground, launch control active, and go. Wow, this thing is quick. It's deceivingly quick because it's so big and it's so luxurious and smooth. This is a lot of car, but I can throw it around the corner and it feels super stable. It's kind of strange that they're putting this carbon core in the car. They're putting this big motor in the car, and again, it's not an M8, it's just an 850. So why would anybody buy the M8? To have more of a sporty appearance? Maybe. Or why would somebody buy this when the M8 is so close to it in price? Just listen to me rev this thing. You get all the pops and everything. Here, listen. In Sport Plus. Inside the cabin. It doesn't look like anything I'd expect by doing this. But then when you pop the hood and you look at this engine, you're like, what? This big motor is shoved in this tiny space. There's not even space to put a finger where the engine bay is. It's crazy. Now, one thing I want to talk about is the steering. It is a big car, and obviously the buyer is going to want something that's really light and easy to turn, but it really lacks a little bit of BMW Ultimate Driving Machine feedback vibe there. It's light, it's easy, and when I go over bumps, it kind of feels a little bit Mercedes-Benz-ish in terms of like not as direct as how I expect all BMWs to be. Now, obviously the last BMW we had was an X3M, totally different vibe. You turn it and it's like direct, it jams where you want to go. It's hard to probably make something that's that direct when you're trying to build something that's luxurious. But I guess if you want something more track capable, you can get the M8 that is designed more for the track. It's got a track setup in the car, whereas this one doesn't. This one just has Sport, Sport Plus, and Individual. So maybe that's it. And when I sit in this interior, I'm like, this is pure luxury. I don't want to drive it like a sports car. I want to drive it in comfort. But the suspension is not overly comfortable like I'm driving something ultra luxurious, which is kind of why people would buy an 8 Series, right? You feel these bumps on the road. Should I be feeling these bumps on the road? I would think no. But then again, it's an M Sport, so To the front of BMW's flagship 8 Series, you've got this long hood that goes downwards and smooth. It's short, it's wide, it's aggressive. You've got these BMW laser headlights that have all these little blue touches, and when you look at them, you're like, wow, this took a whole team to build these headlights. They're so clean, and every detail is just silky smooth. And bringing it all together in the center is obviously BMW's kidney grills. They are larger now, and they're finished in this nice, soft-to-touch satin black. But there's something unique about this grille. Besides the design in the center, it has something called iconic glow. And it's an LED light that illuminates both of these kidney grills, and at night it looks super, super cool. Yes, there is the M badge, but it's because this is an M850. Now moving lower in this aggressive front bumper, everything is functional. Every single inlet is functional, including these shutters that open and close for better cooling. And then to wrap it all together is this 50-year anniversary BMW beautiful logo. So the question on everybody's mind is this a hardtop convertible or a soft top? And just like the Audi R8, it is a soft top, and let's watch it. There's two different sounds. I find when you have 21-inch wheels with run flats and skinny tires in a big luxurious car, it's still some tire noise, and that's what I'm getting. I'm hearing tire noise. Cabin noise, very, very little. Air noise from the top, very, very little. Doesn't really feel like I'm in a convertible. I think if this was a coupe, it would be a little bit quieter, but not much more. This is definitely a 3-layer top. So, yeah. Happy with that, can't complain. Because this is an M850, there's a lot of little Timbits that are M. So we'll start off with the wheels, and behind the wheels there are M Sport brakes, there are M wheels, these are 21s with run flats, they're 245 wide in the front, 275 wide in the back, and this obviously does have adaptive suspension. It is not air suspension, it is adaptive suspension. And then you have your vertical grille right here, your M badge, your M mirrors, and then moving along the back, nothing else M about it. Now, one of its biggest Achilles heel, in my opinion, has always been the trunk area. They've really rounded it off, even with the 6 Series, and they had that trunk issue, you know the deal. I just find that the back of the 6 Series and this 8 Series is just not like check mark, yes, I love it. They've definitely improved it, but it's very rounded. It's just kind of hard to love. Yes, it does have these black exhaust tips. It does have these little flares to widen it up so it's not so roundish, but at the top here, it is ultra round. It's not squared off at all. And yes, it does say M850i, cool touch, so on and so forth, but it's really questionable. All right, ladies, nothing is more exciting than a man coming up to you to tell you that he can fit in any trunk, no matter how big or how small. Let's check out how big this BMW M850i is. And apparently this is one of the smallest trunks on the market. Okay. I fit, except the people that reviewed this car will not tell you that the top actually, with it up, has way more space because this cover can be moved out of the way, and voila, you can fit 2 of me in here. And one of the most important features about the trunk space is that the seats can be folded down. Not a lot of convertibles, you can put the seats down, but on this one you can. And this obviously has power trunk. It works 90% of the time. Now, as I jump in the back seat, I will let you guys know that this color palette is part of BMW's individual program. I pull this little beautiful navy blue buckle up, and then I jump on in. So how much room do I have? Now, everybody will tell you that these back seats are very small. Even though this car is 191 inches in length, the space inside is more of a compact car. It's pretty small. And back here, I would say that would I be comfortable as a 5'9" model? I would say, no, my feet. Now these are basically glorified luggage seats, but you do have seat belts that are pretty funky. So when people on the outside see the car, they're like, sick seat belts. And yes, there are obviously no USBs, no venting, nothing, because we're in the back of a small, big size body Beamer. Sim-Sima, who got the keys to my Beamer? It's got something called carbon core, and that is where they integrate carbon fiber in the structure of the rigidity of the chassis to make it more agile around twisties. Now let's jump inside this big body Beamer, and it feels that way when I jump in. It feels wide, it feels big, feels grande. Now when I sit inside here, because this is a BMW individual interior program, everything is very, very soft to touch, feels very luxurious, feels like I'm in some sort of fancy Bentley, because this is very Bentley-ish on the inside, including how fancy this Bauer & Wilkins sound system is, where they have this little LED ring around the tweeter, and it's behind the aluminum, and it looks super luxurious. Even on the inside of the door where the cup holder is, it has stitched leather. That is super fancy. Everything about this interior is magical and high class. The steering wheel does have the same blue that the dash does, but the stitching kind of looks odd in something like this. And yeah, it's just unique how they use all this piano black when this is going to be really dirty and dusty like it is now. So if I start the door panel here, you have your 4 main switches along with a 1 touch. So when I pull it up, all 4 windows go up. And because I'm on the left side of the car, it only makes sense to tell you that this thing doesn't have a handy little hand that passes me the seatbelt. You see, to get it, I actually have to put my hand over here and grab it and then put it on. For something this expensive, it should actually pass me the seatbelt. Even the lower class 4 Series has it, which is kind of strange. But the positives are it does have a nice 10.3-inch driver's display and a 12.3-inch touchscreen center display for me and my buddy, because there ain't no buddies sitting in the back. And there's a few M touches, most notably obviously the steering wheel and then the M850i on the driver's display, and a few M color-coded pieces. Obviously the seatbelts, but on the display, it is a nice touch to make me feel like it's more of an M car. I do like the fact that it has hard buttons, and a lot of them, which is nice. People are getting away from that, so I like that BMW's kept it in their 8 Series, probably the demographic they're trying to sell it to. So you have 8 hard buttons for your presets, and then you have your HVAC that is super easy to use and right in your face. Nice touch, BMW. Now there's a thing with Android Auto and BMW. They claimed for a while that the privacy wasn't strong enough on Android, and that's why their cars did not have it. However, this one in the 2023 does have Android Auto, and it does have obviously wireless Apple CarPlay. It also does have a wireless charger down below here that's hidden underneath this tray. It does have a USB and then 2 cup holders and a cigarette lighter to plug stuff in. And moving below, you have your fancy diamond shifter. I really like this touch, it's awesome. However, it's different than the X3M in terms of how it's gated. It's simply reverse, neutral, and drive, and then you shift to the left to have your manual shifting, unlike the X3M where it kind of felt like a real manual. And then you have your drive modes such as Sport, Comfort, Eco, and Adaptive. And then you have your air scarf buttons, 3 increments, and then to put the top up and top down, and your typical iDrive controls right here. One small complaint I do have is this is sort of a focal point, this armrest. It's long, it's wide, and yes, even though this does have the nice BMW individual material, it's just not padded enough. And I feel like when I'm sitting here and my arms here, it does feel a little bit, I won't say cheap, but just needs more padding. Now underneath here, it doesn't have the largest center console space. It does have a USB-C and a cigarette lighter. Gotta live your life, love your life, and your BMW 850 M Sport, aka M850i. Convertible styles, with your hat on, loving life, Sport plus it up, move it over, stability program off, Launch control active, and go. Bunny hop in the front. Whew. Wow. Quickity quick. Way more spirited, way more enjoyable with the top down. Now the car breathes. Now the car's alive. That's the deal. The deal is the top has to be down. That's what it's about. So to me, it's like, why would anybody buy this car in a coupe? They'd only want to buy it in a convertible. And the cost difference isn't that crazy. Generally, convertibles are like $20,000 more. In this case, it's only $9,000. I don't know if that's a deal or not, but hey. And it is more tossable than I expected with this carbon core, if that's the thing to market it. But I would just say it's all the years of BMW being badass engineers and understanding how dynamics of cars work when tossing around corners. Because I can get this back end to slide out just enough to have some fun, but at the same time, not be concerned for my life. So anyways, hope you guys like this video on this M850i, because it's different. Food for thought. We'll catch you in the next one.